I'm going to talk about data visualization principle and in particular some historical consideration, because I'm talking about Edward Tufte principle. How many of you knows Edward Tufte? Okay, quite a lot, so good. He's a pioneer in his fields because he was one of the first to study data visualization with a scientific approach. So before, only designers were looking at data, but he tried to give some indication on how to show data effectively. And this masterpiece, the visual display of quantitative information, is considered by Amazon one of the top 100 best non-fiction books of the 20th century. So it was quite an achievement because he self-paid the publishing of this book. So I will talk about three principles of graphical integrity as Tufte defined it, and is a strive for truthness in data representation. The first one is respect the proportion of the real number when you do graphic representation of them. And in this chart, you can see that a variation of 1 point from 26 to 27 is a lot similar to a variation of half a point. So this is a misleading chart. And if we use Tableau, it's really easy to get a different picture. And with this line chart, you see as the variation in the final years is a lot flatter than it looks in the previous representation. Principle 2, use text and labels to help understanding. This is really important. I decided to show a visualization from Storytelling with Data book. And here, because here is really clear that labeling is not just a decoration, but it's used to help understanding the chart. And Tableau has a lot of features to help giving context to the visualization, in particular text, annotation, and tooltip. And so it's a really powerful tool to use this principle. Third principle is show data variation, not design variation. As you can see in this chart, there are some problems with the chart which make it hard to read, because it wants to make the point of the raise of the crude oil price, but it has different scale in the vertical axis, because the 12 don't scale to the 13 in the second half of the chart, and also it has different time scale, yearly and quarterly then. And moreover, it doesn't take inflation into account, so it is a bit misleading. Tufte, in his book, gives instead an example of a good way to tell the same story, because in this chart you can see that inflation is taken into account. It has a consistent style in the design. It has a consistent vertical scale and horizontal scale, and it tells a better story than the previous chart. So to summarize, the principle by Tufte of graphical integrity are use label to help understanding, respect the proportion with the real numbers, and show data variation, not design variation. If you have any feedback or question, drop me an email or message me on LinkedIn. Yeah.